Arrow, how are you?
Doing good. How about you, man?
Good, thank you.
Is it just another rockin' day for you, or how do you put it all together?
Well, first I get out of bed and change my leather pants. And
It reminds me of one of the first conversations that I had with my wife, because her ex-husband is a producer was out there in L.A. And I go, you got to hang out with all those big name people. They put on pants, dude. They put on pants the same way you do.
Totally. It's funny because I run into a lot of them here. Like on kind of like off nights, it's all flip flops, and so.
Hey man, you get that new album coming, man. I love the fact that it's only one word: listen, because I think that's the kind of it gets the attention and makes you go, wow, I need to listen.
Right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the message that we're trying to put out there for everybody, because it is hard getting people to actually just click and to listen, but there is so much on this album. We feel that there's a lot of texture and depth and a lot of lyrical kind of stories that we're trying to put out there and messages. And we really do hope people do listen and like what they are hearing.
Well, you guys are on a mission, and that's what I love about this and everything that you guys have always done, is that those albums of the 70s and 80s, those concept albums, when you guys set a concept, you go with it and you sell that idea. For instance, like hope, inclusion, escape, you deliver that through the music.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's kind of sets us apart in a way in this kind of like alternative modern rock realm, I think a lot of what I'm hearing from a lot of people we don't sound like anything that's out there, which is really cool to me, I mean, we're just doing what we love, and that's playing music, and we're so vast and diverse in everybody's backgrounds and what they do love and listen to on a regular. And I think that's what's kind of working in our favor in that way.
Well, I'll tell you the positive out of that. I'm a mobile entertainer, so I do high school dances to everything that's very much adult. And these high school kids are digging old rock from the 70s and 80s. And it's like, where are you guys finding this? TikTok. And so, I mean, the fact that you guys are coming out with this album, Listen, and with such, diversity and things in it, I mean, you're right in there with where those young adults are.
Yeah. Absolutely. I actually have a couple of teenage daughters, and and they actually listen to my album, and they like what they're hearing, and there's especially some that are more their favorites than others. But I mean, I kind of felt like as a parent, I did what I was supposed to and educate them on good music and like vast, their favorite band is Queen, so you can't go wrong with Freddie Mercury.
Absolutely. I got to give you a big compliment here, and that is the song Closer. I feel like that you guys are the next U2. I mean, you have that sound about this song, and it really, I mean, I sat there and listened to it at least 5 times in a row. I couldn't get enough of it. And was it because of the length of the song? What makes me keep going back to this song?
We're taking it back to like the early Beatles, Elvis days, where it's like a 2-minute song, and I really want to thank you for that U2 compliment, because U2 is one of my favorites, especially Joshua Tree era. That whole time is just like perfect music for me, and I feel like Bono is a huge influence on me, with his lyrics and kind of like the vulnerability that he does. He's a rock singer. Yeah. You can't take that away from him. So, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with that Closer. It kind of captures that urgency and that kind of like ambient, kind of like urgency guitar landscape that's there. And it's short and sweet, and that's, I think a lot of songs should be.
Well, I wasn't done with it when it first finished. I'm going, no, it's not done yet. Wait, what? Whoa, hold on, do it again. And to me, that reminds me of my childhood, because that's what I used to do with my 45s.
That's awesome.
I think the song's going to be a crossover hit, dude. I think it's going to go right into adult top 40 as well as new rock.
Awesome. I really hope so. I think that this album has something for everybody, and it is less than 35 minutes long for the 11 songs too.
Really?
So that's so we kept it short intentionally.
Wow, that's a quick trip to the mall, and then when you get back in the car, do it again.
Exactly. I think it kind of leaves people wanting more, you know. I know that if I hear, unless it's Bohemian Rhapsody, I'm ready to skip to the next song. So
what is it about that song? Sometimes I'm in the mood for it. Other times it's like, no, get out now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because Stacey David Blades, our guitarist, we had this talk, and he's like, he loves Queen, but something about that song, he's like, I can't listen to that song anymore. It's never like, I love it all the time. It's just that song, you know? So
that's the way I am with Stairway to Heaven, man. Once that thing starts, it's like, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you can actually just go into Guitar Center and hear everybody play that song too.
That and Smoke on the Water.
Yeah.
What's really interesting about the when you start diving into the story of this album is that so many times it's lopsided in the way that it's one or two members of the band that put it together, but you guys were very open to bring your own inspirations and your everything that you've ever learned in the music industry together on this. This is a band project.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And there's, everybody's a songwriter in this band, and so everybody contributed. And I just want to thank everybody that's, all my bandmates that allow me to be who I am, because I feel like in previous bands and projects that I've been in, I've had to be kind of like one-sided, and I couldn't explore, certain melodies or stylings that I would love to do. And my band, it just totally allows me to be me. And and we all do for everybody, like in the band. And I think that's why it works the way it does and why we write what we have written so far.
How do you sell that idea to Mike? Because, Mike with his history and everything, you go in there and you say, okay, we have this idea. We'll listen to what you have to say. Or does he say, all right, you guys, give me what you got. And whoa, you've got a lot. This is going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mike definitely, his discography and who he's worked with is just like, 150 million plus albums he's worked on, And so, of course, we go into that room with him and consider and listen to everything that he has to say. But I think at the end of the day, everybody's mission is about the song. It's always just about the song, what makes the song better, So we tried several different ideas, and if it worked, it worked, and if it didn't, it didn't. And I think the songs itself spoke to Mike and why he was so passionate about this album and this band and songs is because he thought they were really, really, really good songs, and to me, that was like one of the hugest compliments. Here's a guy who works with Metallica, The Cult, who's like one of my favorites of all time. Shania Twain, brother-in-law is Bob Rock. He sat on numerous amazing sessions, and he loves our stuff. And that is like a huge compliment.
How do you get through that office door? What do you send flowers and chocolates? What happens there?
So he actually was working with he's a Las Vegas native, and he was working with Stacy on a previous project. And right before we went into COVID, we started with a few demos that we had. One of them was Death on Holiday, which is on the album. That was probably one of the very first songs. And then we went to COVID and started sending him the newer stuff that we were writing, which would have been Breathe and Disco Kills. And he was like, all right, let's do this. Yeah. So we hooked him, and he diligently worked on it for, at some point we had to say, all right, Mike, we're done. We're good. It can't get any, he was so like, he's a perfectionist. So you had to be like, all right, that's great. We're done.
So, a song like Closer, I think you really hit it on the head when you said that it's a powerful song, because that seems to be what's missing from the radio world, in the way that the artists that are on there are the ones that are getting a lot of social media hits. They're the ones with the following. Oh, we got to play this one because the following says we have to do this so that we can get those listeners there. And so where is the real music? It's sitting right here. You've got it. It's called Closer.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's And it's hard because the music business is so different from, how it was even 10 years ago. Now it's all about how many likes do you have, or how many Spotify listeners, and a lot of that stuff is, pay to play. Now, like, payola is a thing now.
Yeah.
So it's hard to break as a new band, and I think we're kind of building some traction and momentum, and it's we're just kind of growing. And
there used to be a game that when the record rep would come to the radio station, and I know I broke the rules, and I know I pissed off a lot of record reps, but when they would come in there with these songs, man, I got this exclusive song, man, nobody has ever heard it yet, and I would put it on the machine, and it would record it, and all of a sudden I'm going, God, we have this song now. Oh my God. But see, that to me was part of the game, because in all honesty, I was there for the artist. I was there to get it on there so people can start talking about it.
Right. And that's, I think that is so important right now, and why we actually want to get on the road and play in front of people. Because honestly, Arrow, if you like this album, wait till you see us live. I mean,
no, I see a piece of that in the video, dude. In fact, that's one of the things I was going to bring up here. This is the band I want to see that's being featured in this video.
Yeah, that is it. And even more. And the funny thing about that video was, I could barely move because the director slicked the pavement with water, and I was wearing leather-soled boots, and I was sliding everywhere. So I had to power stance and just use my upper body momentum. So, yeah. Imagine that times 100. So that's what we're like live.
Is there something in the planning stages, or what are you guys doing on that?
Yeah, so we have a couple shows coming up. First is a album release show here in Vegas, June 28th, and it's following a super secret show. I'm not allowed to disclose who, but we are going on directly following that, and it's going to be kind of like an event. We're going to have a little bit more of an immersive experience. A couple of artists are coming in and displaying their art and having some limited prints, and there's going to be food trucks and hopefully some tattoos, and kind of like a little mini festival here in Vegas. And it's going to be a really awesome night. And then we got a couple shows on the books after that, but our real focus is trying to book that tour and get on something where we can support somebody and really get out there and in front of as many people as we can. So
what can fans do to help out? Because you know darn good and well, if they had the muscle, they would share it.
Right. So first is follow us on everything at Crashing Wayward on all the social platforms. Add us to all your Spotify, Apple, and just share it as much as you can. That's really kind of really all we can kind of do at this moment is just share and talk. It's kind of like that grassroots, and we're kind of in that grassroots building stage for this band, and we really kind of only scratch the surface worldwide, and we're breaking nationally and kind of want to get across the seas and everything, and just so that's all we can really do is just share it and tell everybody that you can, whether you love us or hate us, tell a friend.
Hey, some big news happened just a couple of days ago when it comes to the world of music, and this is a subject that I've talked about a lot on iHeartRadio, and that is AIs. Now Paul McCartney has come out and said that the final Beatles song with John Lennon, because of AIs, will happen. Do you find that to be very scary?
I find anything AI to be very scary.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I think that it's tough because I love the analog of someone's talent, and that everybody's voice is a fingerprint, and can be their own unique entity. So I'm very scared of that whole AI thing. It's we already have a lot of that right now, and in music anyways. But now it's you're kind of if you want a painting, or if you want a story or a video, you can just speak into some whatever AI program, and there you go. And I think it's a scary thing. And I know it's new and exciting and this and that, but it's kind of like the holograms. I'm not going to go see Michael Jackson hologram because I'd rather have seen the real Michael Jackson, Yeah. So it just doesn't do it personally for me. It doesn't do it at all. And it does scare me. And I hope you are scared of it too.
I am. And the thing is that, as a creative person, how are you protecting your riffs, your vocals, your ideas? Because, I mean, if somebody taps into your sound, all of a sudden, woof, they can take it right away from you. I mean, they're going to have to develop some new copyright laws, are they not?
Yeah. And I know that some artists feel that art doesn't belong to anybody.
I get it.
If I make a living doing it, then how can I make a living? Why would, I know I create what I create, and I also write and I paint as well, but I create because I love it passionately. But if it allows me not to work a 9 to 5 because I'm able to sell it, then, people should own their art.
So you actually put paint on a canvas?
I do.
Dude, that's how I got into a conversation with Paul Stanley of Kiss. I went up to him and I said, "You scrape your canvas." And he goes, "What are you talking about?" And because I'm also an artist, and I was talking to him about the technique, but that got me a 30-minute conversation in an art gallery.
Oh, cool.
And so
That's
awesome.
Awesome.
You talk about a conversation starter. I'd love to go into your artwork and just look at it, stare at it, and study your style.
Yeah. It's I'm an interesting kind of person in the way I do 5 things in one style, and then I get bored, and I'm like looking for something else. Yeah. So, and and that's another thing. I kind of keep it under wraps right now. I'm not like brave enough, but I mean, I dig it. I created to leave something for my kids, and that's kind of like how I feel about music. I hope to leave something for them when I'm no longer here, that they can turn on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, whatever exists, and there I am whenever they want to hear me,
God.
So,
well, you've got the gift for it. That's the thing about it. And you've also got the keys to the future. I always call that dear future reader or dear future listener. This was done for you.
Right. Yes, exactly.
And it's like, and because you had to trust yourself in order to do it, and you had to believe in that art as well.
Right.
Dang.
Absolutely.
Dang. What a creative mind. I love talking with creative people because they get it. They get that it's just moving right through them.
Yeah, exactly. And I had the previous talk I had, and I truly feel like the songs that, some of the songs that I've written, I get it. I get that these are not mine. I'm not like, God blessed me, you are this, and you will do that. And I feel like this energy, artistic energy, as much as it can sound cliche, it runs me, and I'm just the vessel in which it goes through.
That's right. Wow.
So it's like, I get emotional over some of these songs that I'm listening. Like, wow, I wrote that? Out of body experience. Yeah.
Do you keep the lyrics wrapped up in a journal log or anything like that, to where you can go back to it 3 to 5 years later and still feel and wonder, okay, why did I go with this particular word or this phrase? I could have gone with this one. Where did I fall out of love with this particular, set of verses?
Right. Yeah, totally. That's kind of, and I drive myself crazy with lyrics as well, too. I'm like a stickler on trying not to repeat a certain word that I already said in another song. So,
man, that's the stuff that you didn't find on the album cover. But yet, man, when you get to talk about it, it makes it even more deeper.
Yeah. And my wife had no idea who she was marrying me until I started writing songs. I'm like locked away.
So where can listeners go to find out more about the band, the music, as well as your journey? Because I want them to give you guys a lot of love. And I'm sure you've got some merchandise for them as well.
Yeah. So we're going to, speaking merchandise at our album release show, we're going to be having some new merchandise, new T-shirts, hats, and some other special collectibles and such. But crashingwayward.com, you can find out everything, merchandise, upcoming shows, where to stream the music, and of course we do have physical product through crashingwayward.com and also rfkmedia.com. We're going to come out with a vinyl. Right now we do have CDs, which are really cool and beautifully packaged. All our socials at Crashing Wayward, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and of course, wherever you stream music, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, it's everywhere. Wow.
You got to come back to this show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Awesome. It was super good talking with you, and I appreciate you having me on.
You be brilliant today, okay?
Yeah, you too.